Architect Abimbola Ajayi, FNIA, as she takes us through the next proceedings.
Your Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Honorable Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. Am I correct, sir? Thank you, sir. Your Royal Highness, sir, I greet you, Kabiyesi. My President, my Chairman, I wish to stand on existing protocol. I've been given a very difficult task of introducing somebody that he has been dynamic. I met him in 2008. I don't know if he remembers. We served on a certain committee, technical committee, policy reform. Yes, he remembers. And we worked hard. He's always had a passion for the state, both politically, economically, because I know he worked in the bank as well. And he has grown, you know, through the ranks. And today, he is still as energetic, as committed, as loyal, as strong as he was when I met him. That's about 13 years now, sir. I want to introduce to you our governor, executive governor of Lagos State. He has honored us this morning by being a part of this ceremony. And we thank you, sir. We really, really thank you. We've had this program for 12 years. And even though we've been friendly with governors of Lagos State, every governor is our friend. We know them, you know. But His Excellency is the first that would actually honor us physically. Physically. He's a good man. Just give me 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds, sir. 30 more seconds. Please help me to greet him and thank him. And also, I may be breaching protocol here. Please, if I do, forgive me. I had to go through a childhood friend. All of us grew up in Surulere, even governor himself. My childhood friend, we went to the same primary school, we went to the same secondary school, but by the time we entered university, we were in the same university, but one went into engineering, the other into architecture. She was very key. I had to beg her, please. I know that governor he's very busy. He's very, very busy. I know he has a zillion things to do today, but please, he should just honor us because all of us are from the same stock. We have the same desire to ensure that Lagos State is where it is supposed to be. So I want to thank Engineer Aramide Adeyoye. She really helped me. I want to thank you. I'm sorry if I breach protocol, sir. Thank you very much. So I want to welcome our governor, His Excellency, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think Architect Ajayi, she deserves a round of applause as well. Members of the State Executive Council here, they've introduced the Special Advisor on Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Aramide, who I will talk about very shortly. But we also have the Honorable Commissioner for Science and Tech here, Mr. Akim Pham. Thank you very much. Permanent Secretary, especially Architect Odusoya, and retired but not tired Architect Dipe, a former permanent secretary also in housing and fiscal planning. His Royal Majesty, the Oniru of Iruland, one of us, a former commissioner, a developmental economist. He likes everything around spatial economics and is going to the best university to do that. So I'm not surprised that if you give him time, he has a lot of paper up his sleeves. Kabiyesi, thank you very, very much again. The president of Nigerian Institute of Architects, Architect Sonny Ekono, who is here ably represented by our incoming president-elect, Architect Enyi Ben Egbo, who incidentally used to work with me when I was in a bank. And he was the chairman of this council then. He was the chairman of Lagos branch several years ago. It must have been like 15, 18 years ago. Architect Ben, it's nice to see you again. You know, when you have an architect in a bank, you know that he must have a space that is well cut out for him. It's nice to see you again. And of course, the main host for today, a very good friend and a brother who I've known for a long time as well, the state chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Lagos State branch, Architect David Majakodumi. President and state chairman of other sister professional bodies, fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. I would acknowledge Architect Ajagbe, my former Agbaje. I need to recognize so that they don't find me in our club. Thank you very much. And talk about Architect Mrs. Ajayi. She was trying to remind me. I do remind myself because that's one of the committees that I still use to whip all of the professionals. I whip them into shape. That committee was what gave back to what we have today as Lagos Building Control Agency, LABCA. It was also an Habitat 2020. We thought 2020 was such a far off then, you know, that what were the things that we needed to have? You know, everything then used to be food for all by year 2020, house for us by year 2020. In fact, vehicle for us by year 2020. And 2020 came, and we now start pushing the goalposts again. So Architect Mrs. Ajayi, thank you for the work you're doing with us. You'll continue to be a partner in the service to our citizens in Lagos. So thank you very much. And several other professionals that are here. Some I've met on my course of journey, and some I know that they are doing great things, you know, in our state and for our nation. I want to say that it's such an honor, you know, when you are called to come and speak in a professional gathering. And I imagine some of our students are over there and some of our young architects. I send you all greetings. I send you all warm greetings. This is the future, and it's only when we incorporate all of us. You know, what the team is about. Lagos 25 years, it's about them. It's about the young architects that will be taking up the space, you know, at that time. And I think it's apt and it's proper for us to give them that space for them to listen and that space for them to contribute, because it's about their future that we're developing. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, you do not need Engineer Aramide to convince me. But indeed, she did, because she was at the premises this morning. But Teolo seemed to have sent a word. And when I saw your name, and I knew that it was Architect Majakodumi too, I knew I had to rejig, you know, my schedule to be here. And for me, it's not about the space, as in it's not about the large size of the audience, it's about the quality of the audience and what the professionals, what they stand for and what they believe in. And so for me, it's indeed a great honor to be part of the Lagos Architect Forum for the year 2021. Let me plead on behalf of my senior colleagues that have stood here that they will have wished to come, but indeed, they probably were very, very busy, but it's okay. I've represented the last 12 years, and please accept apology on behalf of all of them, from Ashwaju to Fashola to Ambode. Please accept the apology. I want to appreciate you for your role you play in the design of our space, in the design of our building. Like Kabiyesi had said, is our space and how we look at it. But you've been an important component of that. And when you're designing space for 22 million populace, it's certainly not an easy job. So the future belongs to the cities. We're seeing an increase in urbanization all throughout the world. If anything has taught us, COVID-19 has also shown us the real essence of now being able to plan our spaces very, very well. Because indeed, we now need to understand and realize that we need to be building for the future. 2050, it's not so far off. Because I know that SGDs have said that they've moved it from 2020 now and they put it to 2030. That will crumple up on us before we know it. Now we have to push it further to 2050. And United Nations estimates that there'll be more than 2/3 of the world population by that time. The same heart, so there's going to be a lot of pressure. Lagos, as you know, represents less than 0.4% of the landmass of this country. It's the tiniest, it's the smallest. In fact, the real size is about 0.36% of the size of this country. Of that 0.36, 1/3 of it is water. So it's technically about 0.24 that we all have to cramp, this number of people in. Because if you look at the southern coast of Lagos, we cannot go anywhere. It's the Atlantic Ocean. The 183 kilometers is a natural border, right? And so the only neighbor we have is Ogun State. And we're eating into them, by the day. So we're constricted by space, and we continue to say that Lagos is a land of opportunity for us, is the 5th, 6th largest economy in the whole of Africa. If we were to be a nation, it will be number 5 or number 6 economically, right? But it's certainly still the biggest city in the whole of Africa. And so for us to set up a big agenda for ourselves, we set up a Lagos 2050 master plan. We will probably not be in position in 2050, but we said that we're going to be audacious. We're going to look at ourselves in the face and say, what are the things that we want, even in our old age? What are the things that we would want? And it's only by proper planning and by ensuring that that plan is scalable enough, is adaptable enough that as the world moves, it will begin to, remove and add to it. But the core vision there will continue to drive us. And what is that vision? We're expecting that by 2050, Lagos might be the 3rd largest population in the whole world, behind maybe Bombay, maybe Tokyo, and maybe Shanghai. The population of Lagos will be about number 3 or number 4 by that time. And so we're not playing here. It's really, really a source of concern, for a place where it's constricted in size, but we'll continue to see huge influx, of urbanization. And so we've set for ourselves an agenda. We said that for us to have the Lagos that we want to dream of, we want it to be Africa's model megacity, a global economic financial hub that is safe, that is secure, and allows for its residents to pursue their dreams and aspirations to its fullest. It's daunting. You want to be Africa's model city, you don't want to be a global player, and you want to be an economic and financial hub whilst doing all of that. And you want to do that remaining safe, remaining secure, and allowing everybody an opportunity to be able to do what they want to do. So you can see that it's mouthful, but we believe that the vision must also be very resilient. It must be able to accommodate as a number of people as possible. And so for us as a government, we came into governance less than 730 days ago. I mean, I count the days, but I've forgotten what the number is now. But we're going to be doing 731 on the 29th of May. And so we set up an agenda, which we call a 6-pillar of growth, which is our team's agenda, which I'm sure a lot of our students know, if our daddies don't know it. The first thing there is traffic management and transportation. Very important pillar for us. The next is health and the environment. We certainly cannot do all of these things if we do not keep our people alive and keep our people safe. I'm sure I'll talk about COVID in the course of it. and in an healthy environment. You know, global warming, climate change, it's important. We said the first E in teams is education and technology, right? And so that's where farm and all of them play an important role. We need to have an educated population. We need to be able to give them that belief and to be able to compete very well, even as we go ahead in their lives. The aim there is making Lagos a real 21st century economy, where infrastructure, where housing, where power will be infrastructure that must be to be able to pull together all of those other things that we're talking about. A real 21st century must be resilient, must be sustainable, must have all of the connectivity to make it a livable place. The second E there is entertainment and tourism. We cannot deny ourselves that we have a vibrant entertainment industry, and Lagos needs to tap that ecosystem and create that opportunity for a teeming number of youths that will have. The program that I was coming from this morning, right, was also one of our intervention in that space, where we just set up a committee to help drive investment and identify movie producers in the entertainment industry and be able to give them requisite funding so that they can do what they know how to do very, very well. In the world, after Nollywood, sorry, after Hollywood, Bollywood, here is Nollywood. So we need to actively push that industry. The last, which is the S, is security and good governance. We cannot do all of these things we're talking about if it is not in a safe and secure environment. And so security continues to be a major challenge. Even today, we can speak all day regarding the security challenges that we have in the country and we have in the state. I am not unaware, we're not oblivious of what is happening, and I can assure you that we're doing everything to ensure that Lagos continues to remain safe, secure for each and every one of you. And of course, underneath that is separation of power, ensuring that there's good governance, autonomy that we talk about. We are doing it and we're doing it well. We're doing the legislature and the judiciary. And doing it in a transparent manner, in a manner in which we want to be accountable, we want to be responsive, we want people to come and audit us and ask us the very, very difficult questions of how are we doing it. So I've just run through some of the tiptoes of some of the things we're doing. On transportation and traffic management, it just didn't drop off. It was a very detailed analysis that will ask the Lagosian, what do we need to do for it? What's the first critical thing that you want us to solve? Just solve traffic for us. Just push us from one place to another. Just get us from this place quicker, faster, and safer. And so it's the first pillar that we have there. And so we are building almost in every part of the city. In fact, people are complaining that there are too many construction going on. We need to do it. We need to improve in all of our local government, from Ikoyi to Victoria Island that we are here, to Epe, to Ikorodu, to Ojo, to Agege. Everywhere we have construction, in all of our local governments we have, and it's your sister, your friend, Engineer Adeoye, that is leading the pack, on that. I need to also say that there are about 2-3 strong women that are engineers and are leading, for us in that space. So we're building that. But for transportation to be efficient, we need to be able to utilize the full things that nature has given us. So the waterways, we need to be able to use it, and the real infrastructure we're building. For the waterways, we're currently building 16 jetty and terminals. They're like small mini terminal places where people can disembark and embark on ferries. So about 7 of them should be ready before the end of the year. We have some that are already currently being used. All of them will not look as nice as Falomo, but we want all of them to be comfortable, right? So we're not doing that. We're also directly intervening. We just got another order of 6 boats just last week. So we have a fleet of almost 20 boats now in Lag Ferry, each one of them carrying 50, 60, 40, 30 passengers so that we can continue to move people from one part of the city to another. We're doing that, ensuring that we can do proper navigation. We also have raised investment to do waterways navigational system. We're going to be putting balls so that the people moving on water are doing it in a safe way. We're building a command and control for the entire waterways so that CCTV cameras are in strategic positions and we can respond very quick because we want people to use the waterways. From here to Ikorodu, if you go to Faloma, it takes you less than 45 minutes. You know, if you go on Ikorodu Road, on Moma Road, it could take you about a year, an hour and a half, you know. So we want people to use the waterway. So we're directly investing in the waterway. And finally, we're also doing the rail. We're doing the rail, and we've given commitment that before the end of next year, or by the end of next year, at least one of our blue or red line will come on stream, and the other one will come up very shortly. For us, it is part of ensuring that the city of Lagos is a city of the future. We have to have proper waterways movement, proper rail connection, and choices on the road so that people can have choices of how do we move. Do we use rail? Do we use waterways? Do we use the BRT on the road? And we're doing this using technology, right, where you can have a single means of exchange. You know, there's a single card in which each and every of these modules or nodules can be used, you know. So we believe that if we tackle that with all of the road infrastructure we're doing, we can reduce travel time, we can reduce communication time on our road, and we can begin to see a city that is truly, really resilient, and people can be a bit more predictable to say that I want to move from one part of the city to another. We're buying new buses. We're just going to be launching another 100 high-capacity buses so that we can continue to increase that. Next week, we're also launching what we call a last mile small buses. Next week, Wednesday or Thursday, about 500 of them will be launched, and you'll see it. You know, so these are part of our plan. These are part of our plan to ensure that Okada that does not have a space in Lagos, let's provide an alternative for them. So we're working to ensure that we provide those kind of alternatives, and Lagos can compete with other cities in the world on transportation. On health and environment, COVID-19 has taught us very tough lessons, right? Coming out of it, we're not completely out of it. We're still all masked up. We don't know one another because of the face mask we're wearing. But we did not let the learning, you know, of COVID be lost on us. We needed to increase our level of infrastructure on the health space. You know, so we needed to also develop capacity. Our health practitioners, they continue to remain, you know, the frontline health workers. And we're happy that indeed we've been able to rescue the nation significantly, you know, from what could have been a catastrophe. You know, we've seen what is happening in other parts of the world that are also of a huge population, India, Brazil, Turkey, and the rest of them. You know, we thank God that it wasn't as bad as that, but we're also a lot more proactive, you know, and that's why we've been able to reduce the spread extensively. But beyond that is to be able to develop capacity, you know. So we just unveiled building the biggest children's hospital in the country. We're building a wellness rehabilitation hospital, a purpose-built mental wellness, we don't want to call it mental wellness hospital, you know, in Ekpe. We're launching another MCC next week in Ekpe. You know, we're starting 2 new hospitals in Ojo, another one, you know, we've just completed another one in Etiosa. We're launching a radiology center before the end of the month in General Hospital, Lagos. We've developed, you know, a renal cardiac center in Bagada. We're trying to build an oncology center, you know, also in the next 1 year in Lagos. And I'm sure you've seen that we're also creating an opportunity for the private sector to also do well in the health space. In the last month and a half, we've opened 2 world-class, you know, private sector-driven, you know, health facilities, one for cancer treatment and one for general medical treatment, all around, you know, Victoria Island and Lekki axis here. So we're enabling that sector, you know, so that people do not need to have what we call, you know, the medical tourism. We want to reverse, you know, all of that and make sure that our people continue to remain safe. On the environment is always a difficult one. Lagos is below the sea level. So people complain and say that there's flood. There will be. You are planners. You understand what this is. But how do we mitigate it? On a year-on-year basis, we need to continue to improve our capacity and ensuring that we can defloat all of our major drainages, all of our major arteries. And we're building new ones, right? As we speak, we have awarded 32 new drainage contracts, you know, that is going on pari passu, 32, you know, in different corridors, so that they can take waters out. You know, once it rains, which it will rain, right? It will get flooded, but within the next 3-4 hours, the channels must be open enough so that they can take them, you know, out and take them into the river. But because during rainy season too, the waterways also rise up I've given you the background that 1/3 of Lagos is water. So we don't have any place where it's going to rise up, but by the end of the day, it will go down. So we just need to understand, the movement of water, right? But for us as a government is to be able to provide all of that. Before the end of the month, we will also be launching new compactor trucks, new Dano bins, new household bins, for our tenements, for our residents at different junctions, and new compactors that can enable and scale up, all of our interventions, in our environment space. Very quickly on education, it's important for us to mention that education is also a bedrock that can help that tomorrow. All of the architects that we're talking about of tomorrow, it's only a strong educational base that can ensure that they get that. To date, in less than 2 years, we've added over 450 new classrooms to the stock. We've built about 100, new buildings into our schools, our secondary schools. I mean, architects, David and I were just talking, he was just sharing with me, a very creative container designed school that I saw, and I said they should build it. In fact, they're building it currently as we speak, but just whispered to me that it was his design, but somebody else told his design. So, so that's the reality. These are things that we did not make up. We're building that innovative school so that people can see that we can design things too very, very well. And we're building out all of this opportunity for the kids of tomorrow. And so all of that is going on. You see all of the schools that, but beyond that is to say that we're creating technology for them. We're currently doing a 3,000 fiber connectivity in Lagos. 1,800 of it is ready. I think I should go and cut the tape so that people know that it's live and it's alive. But the beauty of it is before the end of this month, we'll be commissioning fiber in 100 schools. They're doing the connectivity right now in 100 public schools. In 100 public schools, there will be fiber, right? So once that is available, computer learning and all of that will be easier. We will not leave it at only schools. They will be connected to hospitals, to public building, and eventually it's going to get to your houses, which we call the last mile, which is to reduce the total cost of internet connectivity, and we've seen that that's the only way to go. That's the future. That is the oil that all of us are. So we are working and ensuring that that grid called the Lagos Metropolitan Fiber Optics, it's supposed to eventually get to about 6,000, but the first phase of 3,000 has gone way, way above 60, 70%, as we speak. So we're doing that, and we're also helping, the young tech trainers in that sector. So we have a small body, a small board. FAM is not on the board, but a special advisor is on the board, where they give grants to upcoming techpreneurs, to activate their thought process and to give them opportunity. Last year, they gave over 250 million naira, right? This year, we've also made money available, 20 million, 10 million, 5 million. The board determines who gets what. And based on the applications that they develop, they can become our own Mark Zuckerberg tomorrow. So we're helping and we're supporting, the future of tech, amongst our kids. Making Lagos 21st century is ensuring, like KBC used to work, in housing. We need to make housing accessible and as much as possible affordable. It's a large population, that's one of the only things that people usually, believe that is their asset. To date, we have commissioned about 7 or 8 different housing projects. Before the end of the month, I think we'll have another 1 or 2 that will be commissioning. So these are different interventions that we have in housing. KBC, they started some projects which we have to ensure that we complete them. We'll activate them and we'll hand over the keys to our citizens. So this is a place where your industry, you architects and professionals can also play with us. Let's look at it and see how we aggressively increase the housing stock that we have in our market, right? And let's think of creative construction. There is no space for land, so what are the things that we need to have? How vertical can we get? How do we utilize our space? Must every building have a 4-bedroom? If you really don't need a 4-bed, if it's a 2-bed, do we need to waste a lot of corridors and balconies? Do we just need to? We all see how creative designs are being done now. You are architects. I'm going to challenge you and ensure that let's come up with very smart buildings that are efficient and meet the needs of our citizens. You know, people just want a place where they can put their head, right, and they can have that quality space for them to raise their family. And I believe it's workable. You know, power is critical for us, and so we're working with all of the power providers. We're doing our own power master plan. It's been agreed, right? But we know that we need to engage, the various discourse creatively so that we don't run foul. They don't take us to court because they've also invested a lot of money. But we've said to them that if they don't do all of the things that they need to do, we'll take over the space from there. And we are directly intervening. We're buying meters, we're getting power rangers so that they can work with them and power can be available, right? Even as a government, we continue to encourage IPPs, as a model to get off-grid power capability. A lot of, green powers now are some of the things. And I forgot to mention, a lot of the designs of the things they're doing are actually very, very low energy emission buildings. All the hospitals we're building, right? All the public buildings we're building, we look at the aeration, we look at where is the wind, movement, and we ensure that we're building, buildings for the future. We're not just putting concrete around, we're ensuring that they're nimble, they are spacious, and they can, on their own, have very, very low, power, prints. Very quickly is I've mentioned some of our interventions in entertainment and industry, and we'll continue to support that sector, And the reason why it's important is for the next 25 years, right? These are where a lot of our youth want to apply their energy. And so we need to channel some of those energies positively for them so that they can indeed be competitive, and have their own space globally. So we've set up, partnership with some of the local known names, Ebony Life. They're doing training for over 1,000 of them in different batches, in creative writing, in acting, in directing, in all of that. Yesterday, we launched another one, about 1,000 of them again online. We've got resource people from every part of the world. They are teaching them, online, and they've started that as well. And they're going to be doing practical things afterwards. And the one I also mentioned this morning, these are even giving monies to producers and directors so that they can bring out some of their creative ideas, very nice stories that they've written, but they don't have sponsors to be able to take it to completion. So we're helping them, we're developing it for them, and we're giving to them, and enabling, where they can employ people, because it's a very big industry that employs a lot of our citizens. So we said to ourselves, let's directly support that industry so that they can also take, a lot of our unemployed youths, out of the labor market. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to, continue to express our very modest achievements, very, very, very modest in our view. But we feel that in addition to all of the infrastructure, there are also some other soft things, that are not necessarily brick and mortar, So we have a thought through around business environment. How do we ensure that Lagos continue to remain a business eco environment? What are those other soft things that Lagos can, know that the ease of doing business is improved? Fiscal planning, it used to be in fiscal planning, so you can tell us, or you can tell you what are the tricks, how quickly can we ensure that building approvals come out quicker and faster? Architect Ajayi, how do we ensure that they come out quicker and faster? So there's a EGIS, that we're also doing with the Lands Bureau, because we know that we still have challenge, at the turnaround time of processing of title documents, subsequent transaction, governance consent, and all of that. So we said, let's take it technology, and we've been working tirelessly in the past year and a half. We're almost at the cutting tape now, right? So we're believing that in the next 1 month or so, that we should go live on that. That should help, that should help and ensure that there's a reduced human interface. You submit some of these your documents online, right? And it will increase and improve, your customer experience. And with fiscal planning, I've said to them, that all of the powers you ask for I've given to you. And so we're expecting to get from them, a quick turnaround where we're going to be committing to our citizens that within this time frame, once your documents are completed, you should be able to predict when your approvals will come out. We're also ensuring that our multi-door courts are alive, alternate dispute resolution. These are some of the easier access of ease of doing business when people have contractual issues, and you can very quickly, have a quick site without necessarily staying in the whole court, and you can sit together and resolve, all of the issues that you have. We believe that technology is one of the ways that can help us, and so we'll continue to put a lot of resource, in that area. We must find a way to serve our citizens, using technology, like I said, and we believe it will help us to reduce cost, it will improve efficiency and speed, and it will help the Lagos of our future, the greater Lagos that we'll talk about. It begins to make Lagos, a place where we want to live, we want to do business, and we'll see the future coming around. I've taken pain to highlight some of these things, and I want to assure you that the picture for us is a picture of a greater Lagos. It's a picture of a Lagos that want to remain in a community of great cities. It's a Lagos that will not only be resilient, will be livable, and will improve the quality of life for its citizens. And we believe that it's only by ensuring that we also listen to modern ways of doing things that will be able to constantly solve some of the problems that we currently have. You will agree with me that for us to achieve this greater Lagos, we certainly cannot do it alone. And so that's why we're asking each and every one of you to join us in one form or the other. Certainly you can critique us, but also give us ideas, give us thoughts, challenge us, and give us innovative thought process where we can also better serve you, going forward. I want to thank and commend the likes of Architect Ajayi for always donating their time. Let's just get a lot more people, into the room where we can continue to have that engagement, and we can continue to see that we're all partners in progress. We're just that we're on different sides of the coin, but we all have the same objective at ensuring that, where we are, where we live, where we work is better than what it is today. I strongly believe that it's possible. I believe that it's achievable if all of us work collaboratively going forward. And so I want to commend the organizers, the leadership of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, and I look forward to all of the brilliant recommendations that will be coming out from the next 2 days. And I want to say to you that without any fear of doubt, that the 25 years that I see ahead is the 25 years of hope, the 25 years of belief, the 25 years that indeed Lagos will stand toe to toe with other cities in the world. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Okay, please can we give Mr. Governor another round of applause for all of the wonderful things already this administration is working on, which tie very well into the aspirations of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. Please may we be seated.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Next on the agenda is the opening of the Lagos Architects Forum proper. But by the little power you vested on me, I want to use my power as the governor. Now, it's been the doctrine of this forum to give award after the event. But on this note, we're going to give an award to His Excellency because he's not coming back here on Friday. Neither the Kabiesi. So going to the Lagos State Architects, Nigerian Institute of Architects Lagos State Chapter is going to give an award to them. And thereafter, after the award, I will lead His Excellency to open the exhibition ground. And I know thereafter, because I've been told he has a very tight schedule, and I really appreciate you for coming around. And also my new adopted sister, Auntie Aramide. Thank you very much. On this note, I want to show my pride in Lagos. We are the first to produce the female architect, President of Nigeria, first to produce the first female Honorary General Secretary. And these two awards shall be done by this first female President Architect in Nigeria and first female Honorary General Secretary in Nigeria. So I'll call on Mama Architect Mrs. Bukola Ejimumi to do the presentation to His Excellency. Mama was actually, like I said, was my tutor, was a rector, head of department in Lagos State, or what it used to be called COSTECH, Lagos State College of Science and Technology then, and Lagos State Polytechnic. And Mama was also a director in L.A.F. She was also a former permanent secretary in Lagos State government. I'm humbly honored to call you, Mama. Will please give award to Her Excellency for this immense contribution. We have a lot to do. We've been working together for quite a while, and we'll continue to work on this. Yes, here's the award. So it's the first time we're having a compendium of our journals. So Mama is going to present both the award and the compendium of our journals to His Excellency. Over to you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, indeed it gives me great pleasure to be the one to present this to you. I came to the LSDPC where you were the MD, and since then we've been watching and looking at all the wonderful things that you've been doing in Lagos State. And one of the things that I have always said is that Lagos State is surrounded by water, and we should make use of this. In other countries where they have a lot of water, they use it extensively for transportation and for so many other things. So I'm very happy to hear that that's one of the goals that you are planning to do, and that you are building quite a number of jetties. So I believe that in another 25 years, let us first of all look back 25 years ago. Where was Lagos State? It's not as good as it is now. And I believe in another 25 years, we'll be much better than we are now. I was in housing, and we did a lot of houses. But again, it's never enough. And we do not have the land to do bungalows. Let us forget bungalows in Lagos State. We have to go really, really high, as we have in other countries like China. So I believe, Mr. Governor, that you're on the right track. And we as architects will join hands with you to ensure that your dreams and your aspirations for this state will be achieved. Whenever people say that Nigeria is bigger than Ghana, is larger than, I say yes, but let's take a state. Let a state come out and stand out and show what can be done. And I believe this is what Lagos State is doing. And I pray that God will give you the wherewithal, the wisdom, the strength to do all that you desire to do. On behalf of the president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Architect Echono, and the chairman of Lagos State Chapter, I present this back to you, Mr. Governor. And I say that God in his infinite mercy will give you the wherewithal and the strength, the energy, the wisdom to achieve all that you hope to do. Congratulations, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much.
No, I cannot, but I didn't know that it was Mrs. Ejumi. She also could have forgotten, because Architect Ajayi thought we were on the same project at Ogudu, Abraham Adesoya, one in Ikorodu, Jubilee. Yes, further that we were selling for 2 million or 2.5. Was Mama that started all of that. And I remembered, that we used to, because my office was just behind you on that corridor, you could have forgotten. It's not Elizabeth, it was when you were Palm Sec of housing in 2003, 2004. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Yes, Mama, we're very proud of you. And you can see when I'm talking of first female, and I give regards to mothers. And for those who know much about me, the name of my farm is after my mother's maiden name. So it's more touching to respect our mothers. So on this note, I'll call on Architect Abimbola Ajayi to give the next award to our Kabiesi, His Royal Highness,